The 31st of January 2026 started like any other day for Nancy Guthrie. The 4-year-old, mother of NBC's Today show host, Savannah Guthrie, was dropped off at her home near Tucson, Arizona, by relatives. She went inside. She settled in for the night. And then, she vanished. The next morning, she didn't show up for her virtual church service. Concerned friends called her family. No one could reach her. What followed was one of the most mysterious and heartbreaking cases in recent memory. A ransom note demanding millions in Bitcoin. A second note claiming she had already died. A masked man caught on camera. And a body that, to this day, has never been found. In the next few minutes, I'll tell you the full story. The kidnapping, the ransom notes, the heartbreaking video from her daughter Savannah, the FBI investigation, and the shocking revelation that came just days ago. This is the story of Nancy Guthrie. The disappearance, a Saturday night that changed everything. On Saturday, the 31st of January 2026, Nancy Guthrie was dropped off at her home in the foothills just outside Tucson, Arizona. She was 84 years old. She was in poor health and needed critical medication. The next morning, Sunday, February 1, she didn't show up at a friend's house to watch an online church service. That's when concern began to grow. Her family tried to reach her. No answer. They drove to her house, and what they found confirmed their worst fears. There was blood near the doorstep of her home. The Pima County Sheriff's Department launched an investigation. They believed Nancy Guthrie had been kidnapped, abducted, or otherwise taken against her will. Nancy Guthrie, an elderly woman with health issues, was gone, and the clock was ticking. The first ransom note, millions in Bitcoin. The day after she disappeared, the first communication arrived. A ransom note was sent to Savannah Guthrie, the well-known NBC Today show host. It was also sent to multiple media outlets, including a local TV station. The note demanded millions of dollars in Bitcoin for Nancy's safe return. But here's what made investigators believe it was authentic. The note contained specific details about Nancy's home. It described her bedroom. It described the surrounding property. Investigators believed the abductors had been inside her house. They knew where she slept. They knew the layout of her home. The note was chillingly specific, and it came from someone who knew exactly what they were doing. The family was terrified, but they were determined to get Nancy back. The second note, she has died. 6 days later, on the 6th of February 2026, a second note arrived. This one was different. It didn't contain any demands for money. It didn't ask for anything. Instead, it delivered devastating news. The second note claimed that Nancy Guthrie was dead. According to investigators, the note stated that her death was not intentional, it was inadvertent. The kidnappers reportedly said they didn't mean to kill her, but she died shortly after being abducted. CNN reported that the note claimed Nancy was buried with nature now. The note was written in a similar style to the first one and was reportedly sent from the same computer IP address. Investigators believe the note was authentic, and that's when the family's worst fears were confirmed. The family's response. We understand. On the 7th of February 2026, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings released a video addressed to the kidnappers. We received your message and we understand, Savannah said, seated alongside her brother and sister. We beg you now to return our mother to us. This is the only way we will have peace. At the time, the family didn't reveal the contents of the second note. The public didn't know that Nancy was believed to be dead. Savannah later explained that the family believed the note was authentic. She said, I believe the 2 notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real. Savannah stepped away from NBC's Today show for more than 2 months while the investigation was underway. She returned in early April as the search for her mother continued. But behind the scenes, the family was grieving. They had already been told their mother was gone. The investigation. A masked man, blood, and search. As the investigation unfolded, authorities discovered more clues. The FBI released surveillance video from Nancy Guthrie's home showing a masked man on her porch the night she disappeared. He was armed. Blood was found near the doorstep of her home. Investigators believed Nancy Guthrie was forcibly taken from her home. Her health was fragile. She needed medication. The kidnappers likely didn't realize how fragile she was. Search teams scoured the nearby desert terrain. Volunteers combed through cactus-filled hillsides in the weeks after she vanished. In recent weeks, a volunteer group conducted a search for Nancy's body near the Arizona-Mexico border, but didn't report finding her. Despite the massive search effort, Nancy Guthrie's remains have never been recovered. The media blackout. Why it took so long to know. Here's something that might surprise you. Some media outlets, including CNN and a Tucson TV station, knew about the second note in February, but they agreed to keep the information secret. Why? Because law enforcement requested it. They wanted to be able to authenticate any future communications from the kidnappers. If the contents of the notes became public, anyone could write a fake note claiming to be the kidnapper. Law enforcement asked media outlets to refrain from publishing details of the notes while they investigated Nancy's disappearance. That embargo lasted for more than 4 months. It wasn't until the 22nd of June 2026 that the news broke worldwide. The note was revealed when TMZ founder Harvey Levin posted a video discussing emails they had received. CNN and other outlets then confirmed they knew about the note's contents. For the public, the news was shocking. For the family, it was old news. They had known for months. Nancy Guthrie's life, who she was. Before she became the center of a national tragedy, Nancy Guthrie was a mother, grandmother, and a beloved member of her community. She was 84 years old at the time of her disappearance. She lived in the foothills outside Tucson, Arizona. She was in poor health and relied on critical medication. Her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, is one of the most recognizable faces on American television. Since 2012, Savannah has been a co-anchor of NBC's Today Show. Savannah stepped away from the Today Show for more than 2 months after her mother's disappearance. She returned in early April, but the search for her mother's remains continues. Nancy Guthrie's family had been offering a $1 million reward in addition to $100,000 pledged by the FBI for information leading to her return. But despite the massive reward and international attention, Nancy has never been found. Tributes and final legacy. Nancy Guthrie was abducted from her home on the 31st of January 2026. She was 84 years old. A ransom note demanding millions in Bitcoin was sent days later. A second note, sent on February 6, claimed she had died shortly after her abduction. Investigators believe the note is authentic. The FBI has released surveillance video of a masked man at her home. The investigation remains active and ongoing. But Nancy Guthrie's body has never been found. Her daughter Savannah returned to the Today Show in April, continuing to work while the search continued. In March, she told NBC News, "We know that she may be lost. She may already be gone." Despite everything, she never gave up hope. On the 22nd of June 2026, the world learned the truth. The second note, the death, the apology. Nancy Guthrie's story is a tragedy, a senseless act of violence against an elderly woman. But it's also a story of a family's love, a daughter's devotion, a community's determination to find answers. Nancy Guthrie may be gone, but her memory lives on, and the search for answers continues. Rest in peace, Nancy. The search is not over. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.